Vegan cake recipe. Check out these 4 recipes. Number 1. The best vegan chocolate cake. Ingredients: 1 cup unsweetened almond milk, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 3/4 cups granulated sugar, 3/4 cup cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup canola oil or melted coconut oil, 2/3 of a cup unsweetened applesauce, 1 tablespoon pure vanilla extract, 1 cup boiling water. For the chocolate buttercream frosting: 1 cup cocoa powder, 1 1/2 cups Earth Balance vegan butter, softened, baking sticks preferred, 4 to 5 cups powdered sugar, 2 teaspoons pure vanilla extract, 1/4 to 1/2 cup unsweetened almond milk. Instructions for the chocolate cake. Number 1. Preheat oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and grease 2 9-inch caking pans. I also line them with parchment rounds and lightly flour for easy removal of the cakes later. Measure 1 cup unsweetened almond milk and add the tablespoon of vinegar to it. Stir slightly and set aside to curdle. 3. In a large bowl, add the flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Whisk well to combine. 4. Now add the oil, applesauce, vanilla, and almond milk/vinegar mixture. Mix on medium speed with a hand mixer or stand mixer with the paddle attachment until well combined. Lower the speed and carefully pour in 5. Lower the speed and carefully pour in the boiling water. Continue to mix into the cake batter until well combined. The batter will seem very runny at this point. That's how it should be. Trust me. 6. Divide the batter evenly between your cake pans. Bake for 30 to 35 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. After 10 minutes of cooling in the pan, carefully remove the cakes from the pans and let cool completely before frosting. For the chocolate buttercream frosting: 1. Add the cocoa powder to a large bowl. I just wipe out the cake bowl and use it for the frosting. Whisk well to remove any clumps. 2. Add the softened vegan butter and mix with a hand mixer until creamed and well combined. 3. Add half of the powdered sugar and half of the almond milk and mix until combined. Add the rest of the powdered sugar and vanilla extract. Mix starting on low and turn to high. Mix until fluffy and combined. 4. If the frosting seems too dry, add more milk, a tablespoon or 2 at a time. If the frosting seems too wet and doesn't hold its shape, add more powdered sugar until it thickens up. 5. Frost the cake using an icing spatula or just a butter knife. Recipe 2. Vegan lava cake or molten chocolate cake, gluten-free. Ingredients: Dry ingredients: 1 slightly heaped cup 100 grams oats, ground into flour, gluten-free if needed. See recipe notes. 7 tablespoons finely ground almonds, 50 grams. See recipe notes. 5 1/2 tablespoons, 70 grams, brown sugar or coconut sugar. 3 tablespoons, 20 grams, cocoa powder. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. A pinch of salt. Wet ingredients: 2/3 of a cup, 160 milliliters plant-based milk. 1 small 80-gram banana. See recipe notes. 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar or lemon juice. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Filling: 1 1/2 ounces, 40 grams, dairy-free chocolate of choice. See recipe note. Instructions: 1. I recommend using a kitchen scale for this recipe. Also, check the video in the blog post for visual instructions. 2. Preheat oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, and grease 1 big ramekin, 5 1/2 inches diameter, or 4 small ones. You can also use silicone muffin molds or aluminum muffin molds or mugs. 3. Process all dry ingredients in a food processor or blender. 4. Add the wet ingredients and mix again until combined. 5. Pour the mixture into the ramekin and place the chocolate into the center. 6. Bake in the oven for about 20 minutes. If you use small molds, the baking time will be approximately 15 minutes. 7. Let cool for about 10 minutes before removing from the mold. Recipe 3. Vegan Pineapple Upside Down Cake. Ingredients. Dry ingredients. 1 cup, 160 grams rice flour. I used white. 1 cup, 90 grams oat flour, gluten-free if needed. See notes. 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/3 teaspoon salt, 1/8 teaspoon turmeric, optional for color. Wet cake ingredients. 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters canned coconut milk. See notes. 1/4 cup, 85 grams maple syrup. See notes. 1/3 cup, 80 milliliters pineapple juice, liquid from the can. 1/3 cup, 80 milliliters pineapple juice, liquid from the can. 1/3 cup, 80 grams pureed pineapple or applesauce. See notes. Topping. 7 to 10 pineapple slices, canned. I used unsweetened. A couple maraschino cherries. 2 tablespoons coconut oil or vegan butter. 2 tablespoons coconut oil or vegan butter, melted. 2 to 3 tablespoons coconut sugar or brown sugar. Instructions. 1. I recommend using a kitchen scale for this recipe. Check the step-by-step process shots above in the blog post. 2. Spray an 8-inch or 9-inch cake pan with non-stick spray. 3. Pour the coconut oil into the bottom of the cake pan and spread it evenly with a brush. 4. Sprinkle the coconut sugar over the oil to cover the entire bottom of the cake pan. 5. Open a pineapple can and reserve the liquid. Arrange the pineapple slices over the sugar and place a maraschino cherry in the center of each pineapple slice and also in all gaps. See picture above in the blog post. 6. Set aside and preheat the oven to 356 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. 7. Measure slash weigh the dry ingredients and add them to a big bowl. Stir with a whisk. 8. Blend the remaining pineapple slices in a blender or food processor to get pureed pineapple. 9. Add all wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and stir with a whisk or spatula. 10. Slowly pour the batter into the cake pan and bake in the oven for about 55 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Check after 45 minutes. 11. Let the cake cool for about 10 minutes. 12. Place a heat-proof plate or cake stand, which is slightly bigger than the cake pan, upside down over the cake pan. Try to position it in the middle of the pan and turn the plate and the cake pan over. 13. Wait for some seconds so that the caramelized coconut sugar drizzles from the pan onto the cake. Remove the pan and serve warm. Enjoy! Since the cake is still warm, it will be very soft, which is completely normal. 14. Store cake leftovers loosely covered in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. Recipe 4. Vegan Rainbow Cake. Ingredients. For the sponge cakes, 315 milliliters soy milk, 1 1/4 cups, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, or sub for white vinegar, 350 grams all-purpose flour, 2 2/3 cups, 1 teaspoon baking soda, bicarbonate of soda, 200 grams castor or superfine sugar, 1 cup, 180 grams vegan butter, 3/4 of a cup, 3 teaspoons vanilla extract. For the rainbow frosting filling, 120 grams shortening or vegetable fat, 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon. 120 grams vegan butter, 1/2 cup. 500 grams powdered sugar, 4 cups. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Vegan food coloring gel in red, yellow, orange, blue, and green. For the white frosting, 100 grams shortening or vegetable fat, 1/2 cup. 250 grams powdered sugar, 2 cups. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. A few tablespoons plant-based milk. I used soy. Instructions. For the cakes. 1. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or 160 degrees Celsius, 325 degrees Fahrenheit for fan or convection ovens. Grease, flour, and line 3 7-inch cake tins. 2. Mix together the soy milk and apple cider vinegar and set it aside for 5 minutes. This will act as your buttermilk. 3. In a large bowl, mix together the flour, baking soda, and sugar. 4. Melt the vegan butter and let it cool for a few minutes. Then add it to your bowl as well as the buttermilk from earlier and the vanilla extract. Mix well and make sure there is no dry mixture stuck at the bottom of the bowl. 5. Divide the cake batter equally between the 3 cake tins. I like to use a scale to make sure they all have the exact same amount in them. 6. Bake the cakes for 8 to 20 minutes until a toothpick through the center comes out clean. Leave them in the tins for 10 minutes, then flip them out onto a wire rack and let them cool completely. For the rainbow frosting. 1. In a large bowl, whisk the shortening and vegan butter until pale, smooth, and creamy. 2. Keep whisking. I used a hand mixer. And start adding in the powdered sugar a little bit at a time. 3. Once all the sugar is incorporated, add in the vanilla extract and whisk one last time until you have a pale, fluffy buttercream. 4. Divide the buttercream equally between 5 small bowls and add a different color of food gel to each one. 5. Transfer each color of frosting into its own piping bag and cut off the ends to make a medium-sized hole for piping. To fill the cake layers. 1. Place your first cake layer onto a cake stand and pipe a small circle of one color of frosting into the center. 2. Using the next color, pipe a larger circle around the edges of the first one and repeat until all of the colors are used. I recommend leaving about 1/2 inch of space at the edges so the frosting doesn't spill out. 3. Place the second cake layer on top and repeat. Then top with the third cake layer and place the whole thing in the fridge while you prepare the white frosting. Keep the leftover colored frosting in the piping bags for later. For the white frosting. 1. In another large bowl, whisk the shortening until smooth. Start adding in the powdered sugar a little at a time and keep whisking until it's all incorporated. 2. Add in the vanilla extract and a few tablespoons of plant-based milk. Whisk for a few minutes until the frosting becomes super light and airy and increases in volume. If you'd like it lighter, just add in more plant-based milk until you get your desired consistency. Remove the cake from the fridge and use a palette knife to spread the white frosting on top and down the edges. Use the back of a teaspoon to create swirly patterns in the frosting. Return the cake to the fridge. For rainbow buttercream swirls. 1. Cut open a disposable piping bag and lay it flat. Alternatively, you can use plastic wrap or baking pad. Alternatively, you can use baking plastic or 1. Cut open a disposable piping bag and lay it out flat. Alternatively, you can use plastic wrap or baking paper. 2. Using the leftover colored frosting, pipe a line of each color side by side onto the flattened piping bag. Then fold it up and place it inside of another piping bag with a large star nozzle. 3. Pipe small swirls around the top of the cake. Fill the empty space with your colorful candies and enjoy.